I was lucky because I think, again, that's the holy grail.
Yeah.
And you need to start there.
How did you approach doing something that is familiar, because we know the name, but giving it something new to say?
Well, first, I mean, it's like knowing that the Color Purple is such a pillar. Black culture is deeply, deeply entrenched in this narrative. And, you know, of course, as it begins with Alice Walker's brilliant novel, and then, of course, Steven Spielberg's film, and then, of course, the Tony Award-winning Broadway play. So The Color Purple has been an ongoing source, let's call it, of divine healing for many. So when you are called to do this, you immediately go, no, I mean, it can't be me, because the fear of failure is so high, and the bar itself is so high. So it took me a very long time to even process the opportunity. And then, you know, I found my way going back to Alice Walker's book just to be sure. And I found what I was looking for, first page, first line, when she says, "Dear God, I'm 14 years old." And I go, all right, stop. Anyone who's writing letters to God must have an imagination, a sprawling imagination. And that's what I took with me and said, if we can, in fact, expand Celie's imagination, give her all the things she can imagine, show the audience how she's dealing with trauma and how she's working her way out of that trauma, and see how she's building self-worth and ultimately forgiveness of those who have oppressed her, then we could actually earn our way into this canon. And that's what we did.
How good does it feel to be a part of something so big and so good? It's good.
Ooh, no, yeah, it's
right? Like, bottom line, it's good.
Yes, it's the best feeling in the world to not only have my own dream come true, but to know that I'm doing important work for the culture and for the industry.
Wait, let's start there, because I didn't realize until I was going through my notes. So this is your first?
Yes. It's my first film.
Good for you.
Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. Okay, because, you know, our community is gonna be like, Color Purple, you know, they gotta do it right. So to know that it was done right and it's your debut.
Yeah.
Oh, like, how do you describe that feeling? Because that just got to be a great experience.
Oh, I just feel so blessed and empowered.
What's your first memory of The Color Purple? The reason why I ask is because for me, when I first watched it, I was young. And it was the first movie that actually provoked any type of emotion. I was angry. I remember getting a headache. This version didn't do that for me, but what's your first memory of Color Purple?
Honestly, my first memory, I could not finish the actual film. I, too, was young when I watched it, and I didn't have language at the time to understand that I was being triggered by someone else's trauma. I just knew that that little girl looks like me, and I don't like seeing that, so I'm going to watch something else.
Yeah. What's your relationship with Color Purple, or your first memory of Color Purple? Because I want to share that with you, because I just thought it's just done so well.
Thank you. My first was reading Alice Walker's novel.
Yeah.
And I was lucky because I think, again, that's the holy grail.
Yeah.
And you need to start there.
You're right. You are so right.
You know, because the thing about literature versus film is, in literature, that first-person voice, you can take it and you can process it a bit better. A film is just kind of being told to you. You have almost no way of controlling how you're in it, how you see yourself through it. With reading, you know, you are finding yourselves between the lines. And so I was lucky that way. That was my introduction. And what I found out was that when it came to this opportunity to make this film, all the things around generational trauma, which is really deeply what this story is about, what it looks like, especially let's talk about the men in this film, right? Because that is ultimately the hindrance. It was between those who had foresight, could see, could step out of their comfort zones, and those who couldn't, those who had imagination and those who couldn't. Suge had imagination. She left and was able to become who she wanted to be. Harpo had imagination to build a juke joint in a swamp. Celie had imagination to have her store. Mr. struggled with imagination. If you notice, he's always fiddling with his banjo, never could get to a song. You know, and that for me was a very exemplar around how, you know, when a dream is deferred for a character, you know, and they get into this stunted space, they cannot grow. And I think the biggest and most important shot for me in this movie as a black man is that after the Easter dinner, when the whole table is messed up and cleared out and the camera just lingers slowly and you have old Mr. at one side and Mr. at one side. And I just remember telling my camera operator, keep the shot alive. Just keep it. Because I wanted the audience to steal into what generational trauma looks like and the sources of these problems. And hopefully young people watch it today and go, I can identify somebody I know at that table. And who do I want to be? I think I want to be Harpo because he's the one who figured it out very early and found that he had to break that generational curse and become this new man. And I wrote that song working myself for Corey Hawkins because that song was a reflection of me breaking away from these old generational traumas, right? And I have a 14-year-old son now. That's our favorite song in the movie, right? Because he can see through what was happening on that screen. So I think it was very, very important that these things carried on.
Oprah was one of the most important things to me in the world, important people, and I've been so inspired by her.
Do you think that helped guide you?
Yeah, I think so. And I think even before getting this, the tools she's given me my entire life have helped guided me to be here. The healing she's allowed, the inspiration she's given me. I mean, I only understand manifesting and dreaming because of her.
Spoiler alert, this is not going to air until after it comes out, but having Whoopi Goldberg on set, is that not a special day? What was that like for you?
It was crazy. There were murmurs and like rumors that she was coming and it was someone special was gonna come and be this person. I didn't necessarily know who it was until she walked in the trailer. And then I saw her, she saw me, and she was like, you're adorable.
What? That's how it started?
It started
That's
with
a great
you're
start.
adorable. And I was like, what has just happened?
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.